driver of the number 60 Meyer Shank Racing Honda, the Super Swede, the Swedish chef, Felix Rosenqvist. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Wow. 2-time Macau Grand Prix winner, 3-time Formula E race winner, European Formula 3 champion, over 100 starts in the NTT INDYCAR Series, race winner, 6 poles, 21 top fives, 51 top tens, almost a 50% rate of finishing in the top 10. Not too shabby. You also had a very solid season in 2025. 10 top 10 finishes, 4 top 5 finishes, finishing 4th at the Indy 500, and also made it into the Fast 6 in qualifying for the 500. You must be feeling pretty good off of this season with MSR.
I do. It's I think it's tied my best year ever in IndyCar. So in 19, when I was a rookie, I also finished sixth. But I would say the championship is a lot tougher now, so I consider it to be like the best year in my career, which is cool, right? Like 7 years later, it feels like forever. But it's gone through a lot since then and had some really good seasons, some really bad seasons, and it's cool that you just had your best one so recently. So yeah, it's weird though. I feel like this year was like Palo and the rest though, and we're all annoyed that we were like the rest of us are annoyed that weren't better.
Yeah.
So like the competitive side of me, and I think almost everyone else, at least the people I was fighting most during the year, probably look back at the year as how could I be closer to Alex? So it's annoying, but it was still a good year. We'll take it. There's lots to learn, lots to think about in the off season, but overall a very positive year for me and the team.
Yeah. I also want to talk about this was an exciting year for you because you had a lot of very cool partnerships specifically with your car. You had the Creed car at the 500, you had the Grateful Dead livery at Laguna Seca. You also had Metallica. Like, what was your favorite car or livery this past season?
I mean, the fun thing about it is that they were all so good.
Yeah.
That seemed to be the reaction as well. Every time we released a new one, it was like people just thought that it couldn't be better. And I was kind of on board with that as well. When we did a Creed car, that was like, that was the coolest thing I could have imagined. And I think that's still my favorite because I was kind of part of the idea and how we got to that final livery and like I wished for it and it actually happened, which makes it my favorite. But the Grateful Dead one was probably the favorite in terms of like visual, like pure livery. I think that was the most well received and the most requests we got for die casts and T-shirts and like if we had any merch for that specific Laguna weekend and Portland weekend, I think a lot of people would buy it. Obviously, it's hard with like rights and stuff in the music industry. It's not as simple as just like printing out a die cast and selling it in the back of the truck. So we've definitely heard all the fans' requests and we're working on it and we might do something on that specific one. But yeah, they're all like Metallica ending the year. Like I grew up listening to Metallica. That was one of my first albums I ever bought, the Kill 'Em All album with a fake with a hammer on the album cover. That was probably when I was like 9 or 10 or something. So it's cool when you looked up to these all the artists that were on my car had some kind of influence on my childhood, and it's kind of a full circle moment when they end up on your car.
Yeah, for sure. Did your parents listen to the Grateful Dead at all?
I think my dad had an LP with them. I wouldn't say they were like deadheads, but definitely they were definitely in the collection. I don't think any of my parents listened to Creed though, but I definitely torture them with a lot of Creed when I grew up in my room back in Sweden.
Dude, I listened to so much Creed when I was a kid. I am not exaggerating when I say I think I saw Creed like 4 or 5 times in concert when I was like
No
a
way.
teenager. I love Creed. I was very starstruck when I saw them on at the 500 on the grid before the race.
Me too. And those guys were so cool and down to earth, and they like they hung out with us for like the whole week leading up to the race. They joined
That's
like our
amazing.
dinners, sponsor dinners, and they were there at like 7 a.m. in the morning on the 500 race day, just like ready to go. So it was really cool to actually talk to them a little bit and you know, just talk about normal stuff and personal stuff. And you know, they always say never meet your heroes, but I was really positively surprised how cool all of them were, and just like super open. And yeah, Creed was to do something like that for the 500. I hope we can do something like that as well next year, because it just makes it so special.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any artists that are on your wish list or bucket list to do collabs with?
I mean, I've always had a love for Limp Bizkit. That's like
Dude,
my
I,
favorite gym music. So
yeah,
me and my trainer Jeff, who's working out with me here in Carmel, we always go hard at Limp Bizkit in the gym, and it's also one I always listen to. So I've always kind of been dreaming about that one, because I think it's a little bit controversial as well. So it'd be a lot of like buzz around it in the media if we did it.
chocolate
Like Iron
starfish in
Maiden.
the hot dog flavored water.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
I also have that T-shirt. That's my favorite couch T-shirt. That would be cool. Iron Maiden would be cool. Like Rage Against the Machine would be cool, even if they don't really. I'm not sure if you can actually say they exist anymore.
Hmm.
Probably tough to do a reunion on that one. But yeah,
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit just released a song like a couple of days ago, I think, for the new Battlefield game. Like the trailer has like their new song, so they're still
Cool.
active.
Yeah, I saw Limp Bizkit in concert in high school. I loved Limp Bizkit back in the day. That'd be a very
Fred
cool car.
Durst.
Yeah, man. You would have to wear the iconic backwards like red baseball hat
Exactly.
with the car though. I want
Make
to talk
sure
about your
that's
off
organized.
season. What is your off season like now? Because I assume during 6 to 7 months out of the year you're locked in. You have a pretty regimented life. How different are these 4 to 5 months in between IndyCar seasons for you?
They kind of go in stages. It's obviously a long time, as you say. The first, like basically until now, there hasn't been like anything going on. It's been wedding season, as I call it.
Hmm.
Went back to Europe, saw the family, lots of weddings, just kind of relaxing your mind a little bit from racing. I feel like almost everyone disconnect a little bit, and they don't really want to, you know, even from the team side, they don't really contact you, because I think everyone's a little not burnt out, but they're definitely ready for a break. So this period is kind of like just a laying low period. And now I'm back in the US, and this is where you start with like your hardcore training, where you work out twice a day. You do like strength in the morning, cardio in the evening, and you know, you eat all the good stuff, protein and all that stuff. And I love this period. It's normally like 2 months of just like focusing on training, sleeping, and eating, and that's it.
Yeah.
I love it, just kind of getting locked in on that, and that's kind of where you rebuild yourself for the next year. And then when you get closer to like January after Christmas, then it's like straight into it, and that's where you have all the engineering meetings, you know, stuff you want to do different for next year. Some testing starts in that time. So after Christmas, it normally gets back to busy pretty quick, even when on the media side and stuff. So even if it's a very long off season, I'd say it's technically like 2 months shorter than you think it is, because everything kind of starts very quick once you passed December.
Right on. I know that you recently just got back from Marcus Ericsson's wedding on Lake Como. How was it?
Correct. It was beautiful. It was
Yeah.
an amazing wedding. The venue was breathtaking. I don't know if you've been there to Lake Como. It's a pretty big tourist spot for
Yeah, I've
Americans, I
not
think.
been.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Their ceremony was great, and there was actually some drivers there that I knew, because me and Marcus don't really have a lot of common friends in Sweden. So I sat with Colton and Kyle during the dinner. Dan Towers was there as well, and his
Yeah.
wife. No, it was lovely. We had our wedding a year ago, so it's kind of nice to just be on the, how do you say, spectator side of
Yeah, the
things, and
other
not
end of
having
it.
to
Yeah.
Yeah, not having to worry about timelines and speeches and all that stuff. So we just enjoyed ourselves, and it was fantastic. And I'm super happy for Marcus and Iris, their next chapter together.
Yeah. When you all were at Lake Como, did you recreate your favorite scenes from the Star Wars prequels?
The Star Wars I
Do you
haven't.
know that Lake Como is Naboo?
No.
You didn't know
Naboo,
that?
so I'm not a big Star Wars guy. What is Naboo?
Oh.
Is that like a location?
Yeah, Naboo is where Queen Amidala is from, who's Natalie Portman's character. There's like
Okay,
a whole
I think I know.
scene. There's a whole scene that happens in the Star Wars prequels where Hayden Christensen, who's Anakin Skywalker, is hitting on Queen Amidala, and he's like, "I hate sand. It's rough and coarse, and it gets everywhere. It's not soft and smooth like you."
So is this like in the old movies?
The prequels, which came out when we were like, well, I was in high school. I don't know how old you are. I'm 40, but you were
Also, when I
probably
was,
you're a
yeah.
kid.
So that technically the old ones, yeah, not the
Yeah.
old ones. Okay,
Not the old ones,
yeah,
but yeah, the newish ones, the ones in the
We
middle.
need like a whole podcast to go through the order of all those movies and how they're.
For sure. We can do that sometime. You should do a you should do a watch of all the Star Wars movies and give us your thoughts.
I do. I need to watch the Star Wars ones and the Godfather ones. Those are the ones that have been hanging on my movie list forever.
I don't think this will be super controversial, but I think you can skip Godfather 3. Godfather 1
Yeah?
and 2 are amazing. Godfather 2 is one of those few movies where the sequel might be better than the first one.
Oh,
Godfather 2 is very good, but Godfather 3, you could probably skip it.
okay. Good to know.
Uh,
I think I've seen the first one like 3 times, and I have to make sure I watch them all, like the whole trilogy. I can't just like watch one and then take a break.
yeah.
So it needs to be done properly. So one day I'll do it.
Yeah. Also, follow up. I'm pretty bummed that I wasn't invited to Marcus Erickson's wedding. I've never met him, but it would have just been nice to have been included. But
You've never met Marcus?
I've never met him. Also, I want to talk about how your wife went super viral on TikTok recently
Oh,
with a video that she posted.
Must be missing an angel. Missing one angel child for sure.
Last time I checked the numbers, 6.4 million views, 855,000 likes, putting up numbers. A lot of celebrities liked it and commented on it. Where did that come from?
so I had this RC truck. It's like a Japanese, how do you say, like a mini truck. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're aware of them, but in Japan they have these like super small trucks. They're literally smaller than like a Mini Cooper.
No, I know what they
And,
are because there's actually a bunch of them on Catalina Island, which is near Los Angeles, because you're not allowed to have, they limit how many cars you have on Catalina Island. So everybody either has golf carts or those Japanese mini trucks.
Okay. And
Yeah.
they're super cool. Like when I
Yeah.
raced over there, I just thought they were amazing. And they had them in the pits as well. So I saw one of them that you can buy, like an RC version. And then we had this idea. Like my wife is pretty creative. She definitely has the creative gene, unlike me. And we talked about this idea that, like, because I always do coffee, I'm like a big coffee guy. And she always brags about me, I guess, on her Instagram that I give her coffee every day in her bed.
Yep.
And then she wanted to take it to the next level where I actually deliver the coffee in one of these, in the Japanese truck, driving like her lap around the table. And we had like a white rug and everything. So it was like a super sketchy, like dangerous mission. But yeah, we did it. And then I think it was Carly Wickens, Robert Wickens' wife. She was like, she's pretty active on TikTok. So she told Emil, you should post it on TikTok because it could go viral. And we were like, yeah, whatever. Like she had never posted anything. And like the first day we woke up, it had already like 1 million views. And it was
That's
like
wild.
liked by Kendall Jenner, and it was Google were commenting on it. And then it went super viral. And I ended up like 6 million. So unfortunately, her account wasn't like a collaborator account, because I think you need a certain amount of followers, because then you could have gotten some cash out of it. So, and I also
Yeah, you
didn't
need-
get any cred, unfortunately.
Yeah, she didn't even tag you, dude.
I know.
It's messed up.
It's very typical her though. Like her content is really good, so I'm not surprised that it went viral.
Where did you and
We need a
Emil?
stuntman.
Yeah. Where did you and Emil meet?
New York.
Yeah. What's the story behind that? Where in New York?
So the story is that we met through Instagram.
Okay.
She texted me first.
She slid into your DMs.
Yes, but it was like it was a bigger story than that. There was a lot of likes going back and forth, and like removed likes, and there was a lot of strategy.
Removed likes,
especially on my
okay.
side. Yeah, it was a whole thing. But she was the one that finally wrote. I think she was slightly drunk when she did it, luckily, and we started talking. We started talking like every day on the phone for hours. So we really connected well.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was in the middle of the season, so I was like, at some point we got to meet up. And I was in Charlotte, I think, for the simulator, and she was in Sweden. I was like, we should just meet halfway in New York. So she had to do the Atlantic trip, and I went to Charlotte, to New York from Charlotte, which was a 1-hour flight. So she definitely showed her effort, and it was a blind date as well, which is super sketchy, right?
Sure.
Like you don't know if you're gonna get completely.
It might not be her. It might be someone totally
it might
different.
be a dude.
Yeah.
It might be So it was high stakes, but we said like if we don't like each other, we can just if we don't like each other physically, we can just hang out for a week in New York and be friends. And no, it was great. So from there on, she moved in after like 4 months or something.
Right on. What activities did you do in New York? Like, and at what point did you realize like there was something there?
I think we knew already before there was something there, and we just needed to meet to like make sure
Confirm
that
it.
one wasn't like 3 heads taller than the other one, or like,
Yeah.
especially because I'm pretty short, so you never know. That I probably lied slightly about my height, and she could have also, because some girls do that. They say like, "Oh, I'm also 5'7", and then they're actually like 6 foot tall.
Sure.
So, but I have like an inch on her, or half an inch or something. Luckily, so
Unless you go to a wedding, then she's maybe a little bit taller.
Yeah, on the weddings, I normally have to stand pretty tall, which is all right. So yeah, we just needed to get like the physical side. Obviously, like maybe you don't like each other's smell, stuff like that.
That's true. That's a real thing.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Like maybe you smell her and it's like, ugh. But everything was good. All the check boxes were everything was checked off. And I think we both knew. What?
I'm just imagining you meeting up with her and you going, Bill.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm out.
But that's it. Like that, everything technically could be hanging on that technicality. So no, it was great, man. Like I think we both knew within like an hour of meeting each other, like this is gonna lead somewhere. So
you don't have
to. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, we just kind of did the normal New York stuff, like went for dinner, Broadway. We went to what is it called, Book of Mormon, and we both of us fell asleep because we were up to like 5 a.m. the day before. So we were both sleeping at the Book of Mormon. I think we left before it was over. I always wanted to see it because I'm a big South Park fan, but yeah, unfortunately, Emil wasn't paying attention, and I was like, I'm just gonna nap on your show.
You should go back and watch it. It's a very funny musical.
I know, but I could tell that she wasn't. I think she wasn't invested. She was so tired and jet lagged that she was kind of like she wasn't invested in it, and then I couldn't enjoy it either. So that was, if anything was bad with the first meetup, that was the Book of Mormon wasn't a success, which it should have been, because it seems pretty good.
Yeah, you guys were tired. I get it. Before we move on, and you don't have to answer this question if you don't want this, is there a point in your relationship with Emil where you like knew you wanted to marry her?
A point. I think honestly, like straight away.
Yeah.
I wanted to marry her like from pretty much that weekend. We met in New York, but I knew that I had to be like at least wait a year because you never know if someone has like a psycho side, like
Sure.
wake up one day and like they might have like a big problem, but
Yeah.
like psychologically or emotionally or whatever. Like you don't know how they're gonna handle like going to a race. I don't know. Like they might some girls are like super, like if a girl is dating a guy who's racing, for example, they might not like that the guy is getting all the attention because they're used to having all the attention. And so like that's a real thing I've seen a lot of times in racing. I wasn't really worried about that with Emil because she didn't seem like that kind of girl, but you never know. So it was more of those kind of things. But I literally, I was like, I hope there won't be any red flags coming up along the way because I really want to marry her.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's also a racing pun, red flags. Let's move on. I want to talk about your relationship with Stefan Johansson a little bit. He's your manager in IndyCar. He also manages Scott Dixon, if I'm correct. Formula One driver, also drove in IndyCar kart, also an accomplished artist. He's kind of like a Renaissance man. How did you get connected with Stefan Johansson, and what is your relationship like with him?
We connect. So we are actually from the same part of Sweden, very close to each other. So we speak the same weird accent. And I think we met the first time in Macau. I think it was the second year I was there, like 2011.
Was that the year you first won the Macau Grand Prix?
No, this was before. So I did it probably like 5 times, and this was probably the second time. But because he was doing like a superstar race with like ex F1 drivers and stuff, and we just met. Like I think I emailed him like let's just catch up. Like let's meet up when you're there because I never met you. And we talked a little bit, and then I think my dad mainly wanted someone to like, because my dad has never been like physically involved in my racing after I left go-karts. It's mainly been like he's been working with his stuff, and he felt like he needed someone to like look after me, I guess, and just kind of do my, because I was still pretty young, and someone who can do like contracts and maybe find sponsors or whatever. So he thought it would be a good idea if we found a manager, and I think we basically just convinced him like, hey, let's work together. And he basically did it for free, like for many years, probably 4 or 5 years. He was just doing like a lot of work, a lot more than he does now, because now it's it's pretty like
It's kind of on autopilot at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you grow up, and you most of the daily connections you have yourself, right? I live in Indy, but back then, like we knew nothing. It was just chaos. Every weekend I was driving a different car. 1 minute I didn't have a seat. Next minute I had to go to Japan. Like it was chaos, and he was managing all that stuff, and it was super helpful. Like honestly, I think the IndyCar thing probably wouldn't have happened without Stefan. Because at the time I raced in Europe, and he was kind of the link to Ganassi at the time, because Dixon raced there, and they needed someone for a test. So yeah, we've done a lot together. I think it's 13 years together now, and super happy. Like I really trust him, and I think that's the main thing with a manager. You just, more than anything, you need someone you can trust, and I just know that he's in my corner always.
At that point, had he already been managing drivers, or were you the first driver that he managed?
I mean, he's always done Dixon, obviously, because him and Scott worked from the time Scott was in like Indy Lights, because Stefan had an Indy Lights team, so that's how that deal started. I think it might be more complex than that, but I think he's probably always like he's a very kind guy. Like I think he tries to help people, even if it doesn't mean like a financial gain or whatever. But I think to work like full time as a manager, I think it's me and him and maybe some other drivers through the years. I think he works with Foster, but I'm actually not sure right now, so you can ask him that. But yeah, like it's been one of those deals. Like we just had a handshake. I don't even think we have a contract. If we do, it's buried in some moving box in Sweden, and I think for him it's the same. So we just like shook hands one time, and that's it. And it's pretty cool when you can do that at a like the highest level in sport.
Were you starstruck at all when you first met him for the first time?
No, not really. I feel like in racing, it's weird. Like I met Lewis Hamilton once when I was a Mercedes junior, and he was like super down to earth, and he talked just like we all do. I feel like in racing, we all get very grounded because we all do the same stuff. We all talk about the same oversteer, understeer, like oh, had an moment out of turn three, whatever. Like it's all the same. So same with Stefan. Like you just bond as drivers, so you never really get starstruck. I think if I met Tony Hawk, I would be starstruck, but not Lewis Hamilton for some reason. Being both very big, heroes in my life.
Yeah. I know that you are still a big motorsport fan. You still watch a lot of racing when you are not doing it yourself. Do you feel like becoming a professional driver and like driving in Formula E and driving in IndyCar has changed the way you enjoy racing as a fan? Like, are you more analytical? Are you able to sort of compartmentalize and remove the analytical part and just enjoy it as a fan sometimes?
I feel like it's kind of like watching a movie if you're a director.
But yeah.
If me and Emil watch F1, because we have that as a thing we always do on Sundays, watch F1. Emil might not be 100% invested, but let's say the commentator says something about the strategy, and then I'll be like, "Hey, Emil, like he won't pit this lap, I promise. It's just a fake." And then like it will be a fake, and you feel really good about yourself. So that's the way I watch it. You try to like predict what's happening, especially on the strategy side, and I feel like you have a very good skill set as a driver to just kind of see what's going on, and a lot of the times you see things that the commentators don't, and I kind of find joy in that. It makes me look like a pro, at least in front of my wife. But yeah, I love watching racing, especially Formula One. That's always been the one, I think, where I keep active and I watch every race. I'll dive into NASCAR and Supercross every now and then, but it's not like 100% of the time. Sometimes MotoGP, sorry, as well.
Yeah, right on. We're going to get into some rapid fire questions that I'm asking other drivers. Okay. If for whatever reason you don't want to answer it, we can just move on to the next one. What is your favorite IndyCar track that you have driven?
Mid-Ohio.
Mid-Ohio, okay. Is that where your win was at?
It was Road America.
Road America, sorry. Why? What do you love about Mid-Ohio so much?
It's good flow, no annoying corners. Every track has like an annoying corner, and Mid-Ohio doesn't, which is a big rarity out there in the racing world.
Okay. Where would you love for IndyCar to go next?
Sebring, the big one, big track.
Wow. Okay, I love it.
Sebring or Road Atlanta.
Did you get a chance to watch any of the Petit Le Mans?
Unfortunately, I tried, but I didn't have the right subscription or VPN. I couldn't watch. I tried for like an hour and then I gave up and I watched the live stream.
Road Atlanta's cool. I would love to go there.
Me too. I've never been there ever, but it looks like a phenomenal track. For an IndyCar, I think it would be great.
Agreed. Just at least from watching the broadcast, it kind of gives a Barber vibe.
I agree.
Without the weird art.
Yeah. Without Karina. What's her name again? Katrina?
Georgina.
Georgina.
Did you drive by Georgina when Georgina fell? Or had they cleared it by that time?
I did drive by her a couple of times, I think.
What was your reaction when Georgina fell on the track? Did you think it was a person?
We talked about it on the track walk. We're like, oh, what if she falls down? And she fell down. So as soon as I saw something on the ground, I was like, it must be Georgina. And it was. It was kind of funny. We literally stopped and talked about it for like 5 minutes.
You might have willed that into existence.
I think I did. Put it out in the universe.
What is the weirdest thing that you've ever signed?
Baby's forehead.
Yo, Graham Rahal gave the same answer. He also signed a baby's forehead. What are
But
people
I think
doing?
is that a
Having driver-
Talladega Nights thing? Maybe
It is a
Signing
Talladega
babies?
Nights thing. But like, why are people letting their babies be like have their foreheads be signed? They're not.
I'm not the-
I assume they're not getting your signature tattooed on this baby's forehead. I would hope not.
I hope not. I hope not. No, I mean it's very engaging.
Maybe they just did it for the picture or the video.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of cool, I guess. Like, might as well if you're signing a baby, might as well sign the forehead, I guess.
What is the weirdest DM you've ever gotten from a fan that is safe for this interview?
It's a lot of weird stuff. So just like explain, like I'm not a very controversial guy. I don't really have a lot of haters and stuff. I feel like my fan base is very friendly for the most part. I had one time when I was stopping for, this was like way back, probably 10 years ago. I was stopping for gas in Sweden, and I took a picture of me putting a coffee on the roof of my car because it was kind of like a nice setting. It was like a sunrise. I was driving somewhere. I thought it was a cool picture. And then someone wrote me like, I'm not kidding. It was like, it took 10 minutes to read on Instagram about how the cup I was using was not in the right material, basically, for like recycling. So I was being like an environmental.
So it was like a styrofoam cup?
No, I think it was a plastic cup. And it should have been paper, basically. And that was.
Got it.
Yeah, so I was a bad guy. And then I actually replied, I say, you must be fun at parties. Normally I don't reply when people write bad things. I just had to because it was so ridiculous. Like, this guy painted me up to be this villain, and I was like, dude, I just had a coffee. Relax.
I wanted to follow up about that because you said you're a big coffee guy. What is your typical coffee? Like, I don't want to say order because you make your own coffee, but what is your typical drink?
Flat white. Especially if it's the morning. I'll say in the afternoon. I don't really drink coffee in the afternoon. It's
Okay.
normally come home from the gym, maybe have a shower, have like 6-7 eggs, big protein fill, and then
7 eggs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll do a cappuccino after I've had food, because you're not supposed to drink coffee on empty stomach, by the way. And you're also not supposed to drink it when you wake up. Like, you need to wait a little bit, otherwise you mess up your circadian rhythm. But now I also sound like someone who's not fun at parties. If you drink your coffee when you wake up, continue to do so.
I drink it
Just
when I
give
wake
you a
up,
health
and I
hack.
drink it on an empty stomach. I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to drink it on an empty stomach.
You look fine. You're
Thank
doing
you.
well.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah. Flat white.
That's also Christian Lundgaard's drink as well.
I think it's a very popular racing driver coffee because it's, I don't know, it's just every time I meet a race car driver for coffee, they order a flat white.
He said he started drinking flat whites because someone he used to race with ordered
Yeah.
them, so he just followed it.
It's normally someone who's like cycling. I feel like all the cycling guys drink flat whites.
Have you ever gone cycling?
I used, like, me and Marcus Ericsson, we got on this big cycling thing during COVID. He got me into it, and I kind of became obsessed with it, and now I couldn't think of going on a road bike. I love mountain biking. That's always been like a big thing for me, but going out on the road now, like, no, absolutely
What made
not.
you fall out of love with cycling?
I think I'm too competitive, and I realized I was putting a lot of hours in, and that's like hours you don't spend doing other things. And you also realize, like, I'm not going to win the Tour de France. I'm not even going to be like, I'm so far away from being somewhat decent, even on like a local level, that why am I doing this?
So are you competitive in everything that you do?
Yes. I mean, yes. I think I like the idea of being like best at whatever. It doesn't have to be racing. And then I get annoyed when I'm not. And that's probably why I stopped cycling.
Are you like Fernando Alonso? Did you hear the story about Fernando Alonso when he got invited to play paddle with someone and he never played before, and he kept delaying the meeting so he could secretly play it and be good at it when he showed up?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Aside from your, this is a this is a good question for you, being a Swede. Aside from any of the pit crew on at MSR, aside from your team, which pit crew would assemble IKEA furniture the fastest?
I'll say Shank. I couldn't say Shank because they're closest to Sweden. No, Penske. They're closest to Sweden.
Okay.
There's probably some like ancestors of the Penske team that sailed over from Sweden back in the what do you call it? The famine, the Swedish famine.
What's Swedish famine?
Like when Sweden was poor back in the day, and everyone came over to America.
When was
for the
this?
new beginning. It was probably mid 1800s or something.
I'm learning a lot here.
So Sweden was like the poorest country in Europe, and we were like eating bark off the trees, and people just like jumped on a boat to New York for a new beginning, or Boston, and I think a lot of them went to Minnesota and Wisconsin. And
Do you have any relatives that you found that came over at that time?
I've seen like records of some of them just showed up in the US, and then it's like no trace of them anymore. But yeah, a lot of, if you look, because I looked up my like ancestry thing, and a lot of like the brothers and sisters of my great whatever grandfather, they just took the boat over, and I think they lied about their age as well, which was funny. Like you could see they changed their age once they arrived in the US, and then I can't find them. So but yeah, a lot of people did. Like it was a real thing. That's why everyone's called like Anderson, Johansson, like all those names are from that.
All right. Wow. I'm learning a lot. You're going on a road trip with any 3 IndyCar drivers currently on the grid. Who is in your car with you?
Potato, Scott, and
Potato is Pato.
yeah,
Okay.
Marcus probably.
Okay.
Potato,
That's a good
Scott,
car.
Marcus.
That's a good car. What is the last TV show that you binged when you should have been sleeping?
We watched this Ed Gein thing. Have you seen that?
The what?
The new one. Ed Gein.
What's that?
Like the murderer from the Plainfield murderer or something. From Wisconsin,
familiar.
actually. Maybe he was.
I'm not familiar
Swedish.
with this.
Yeah, it's like a new thing on Netflix.
Okay.
It's very disturbing. I wouldn't really recommend anyone to watch it. What else have we? We haven't really been on the binge lately. I think the last one we went through was True Detective season 1 for like the 4th time.
That's a
big crime.
That's a
guy
great
here.
season.
It is.
You're a big what?
It is big crime, true crime
Yeah.
guy.
You love true
Yeah.
crime? Are you one of those people where like listening to true crime and like listening about terrible things like happening like relaxes you and helps you go to
Yeah.
sleep?
Oh yeah. It's so weird. Like me and my wife look at each other. It's like, why do we find comfort in this? But this new one, the one I just said, Ed Gein, that's like that would give you nightmares. It takes it over the top, which is very rare for me because I can see
All right.
anything.
I need to check it out. Tangentially related to the last question, Hollywood is making a movie about your life and career. Who is playing you?
I always said Brad Pitt in this question, but
That's a good answer. That
I mean,
works.
I want to make myself look good. I love him as an actor, though. He's great.
You want to know what Christian Rasmussen's answer was?
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
Who else would you say? Who fits the bill?
I feel like Brad Pitt's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll go for Brad. It's hard to find a better one, to be honest.
Yeah. It's hard to find someone that is as good looking as Felix Rosenqvist.
I
I think
know.
that's the big challenge.
It's just on the good look factor. That's where it gets tough.
How long have you lived in the States now? Like 7 or 8 years?
7 years.
Or longer? Okay. What, in your opinion, is the best fast food chain in America?
Oh, Panda Express.
Panda
Is that
Express.
considered fast food?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Panda Express. Love
So
that.
good.
Actually, Louis Foster and I went there every day. We did a straight line test in Nevada. No, California, in the middle of the desert. And we went there every day. There was like nothing out there. We went to Panda every day and had the exact same order. Orange chicken.
Orange
And now
chicken's
it's
so
my
good.
go-to whenever I honestly, I never really eat fast food, but yeah, Panda, that's my weakness. And Taco Bell is pretty good as well.
Taco Bell's great. Well, you don't have time to eat fast food because you're busy being at home eating 7 eggs.
Takes a lot of time.
Who is the most famous person in your phone?
Probably Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Has to
Max
be.
Verstappen. That's a
Toto
big
Wolff.
one. Oh, yeah?
He's more no, I think Max is more famous than Toto.
I think Max is, but Toto's also impressive.
Yeah.
Now, on social media, on Instagram, do you actually read the comments on your posts?
No, but my wife does. She reports to me.
Does she manage your account?
No, she just reads everything. Like I
So
never
if I get
read,
a D-
never
if
read
I-
the news.
You and I have DM'd a few times. Am I DMing you or am I DMing Emil?
No, she just watches from her account.
Got it.
I don't read anything. Like I barely read my DMs or the news for that matter. Like I just never really keep up with stuff. If there's been like
Yeah.
a big silly season thing, like I'll be the last one to know because no one. Yeah, I never look.
Well, we stand an unbothered king. Amazing. Felix, thank you so much for taking the time to talk. This was awesome. Driver of the number 60 Meyershank Racing Honda, Felix Rosenqvist. Thanks so much for talking.
Thank you, man. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.